Good evening. I'd like to call this meeting to order. We have a quorum present, and this meeting has been duly called and appropriate notice has been given. Welcome to everyone in attendance, and I would love to invite Miss Chrissy Davis, the James Boyette Teacher of the Month, to announce our Pledge of Allegiance leaders from the Pinkston Robotics that are big winners.
This is the Pinkston Robotics group. Do you guys want to introduce yourself? Say your name.
Hi, we're Pinkston Robotics, and our team number is 3942, and we won the Innovation Project Award in Searcy, Arkansas, and we won our Engineering Excellence in state competition.
You don't have to speak much down there, right? You just have to do the good stuff. Good for you.
So they actually, that's one of the things that they have to do. They have to talk to a panel of judges.
Oh.
But he is one that likes to be prepared. And he likes to know exactly what he's going to say. And so given exactly what to say, or if you get him talking about the robot, it's hard to get him to stop talking. They will be going to the Western Edge Open Invitational in Long Beach, California at the end of May.
Awesome.
To compete.
Let's do the pledge real quick, and then we can continue.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
What? No, come back.
We're not done with you.
No.
We just need to open it up with the pledge first. But now you can continue to introduce yourself.
I'm Cruz Wooldridge.
Hi, Cruz.
I'm Abigail Hill. I'm Braylon Hopper. I'm Ava Allen. I'm Brooks Barber.
Do you want to tell us anything else about your trip to Searcy? Were you nervous?
We were very nervous, to be honest, because most of us are new except for him. So we were fairly nervous for it being our first competition.
So this isn't the one that's going to Australia, or is that the?
So
You
Brooks
are?
went to Australia last year.
Oh, wow.
And so this year they qualified for the one in Long Beach.
Closer. That's good. Much cheaper and closer.
Yes.
Good. When is that trip?
May 31st through June 2nd.
Beautiful weather time. Good.
We're super excited to go to represent the state of Arkansas.
Thank you. Thank you for everything.
What was innovative about your robot
Um,
to get the award?
we got the Innovative Project Award, which was we created books for kindergartners in our school to read to the kindergartners. And we got the Engineering Excellent Award because we created a swerve module, which is something that you really only find in like high school teams.
Yeah, and so basically a swerve module is a module that, like, it can turn in a 360 degrees with, it has two motors, but we have three motors, and so one motor is the steering motor, and we have two swerve models, and so basically they spin it all the way around, but then the wheels can move in any direction, so it can basically walk like a crab and also move straight. So that's what's special about our robot.
That's great. Good work.
What was the biggest challenge in this year's competition of the different obstacles?
So basically, I think the biggest challenge for the obstacles is we had to, our robot used up a lot of motors for the swerve, so we wanted to go passive, and passive means like we don't use any movement of arms or anything, so we go and hit missions that are like just pushing up on it, and we also use a slanted bumper that instead of using an arm to push down like a mission model, we can use a slanted bumper that when we run up against it, it pushes it down.
So you figured out the biggest challenge. So who came up with the idea? So you're innovative, obviously. How does that work? How does that process work to figure out how to accomplish the challenge?
So basically, we all come up with different ideas, and then we kind of like sandwich them together, and like we all get a say in what we do.
Very good.
Great work.
Ms. Davis.
Great work.
Thanks, kiddos.
Now you're talking. See, that's coming out of you.
Keep talking about the robot.
Uh-huh, yeah.
Figure out. So one of the things with Lego is if they don't explicitly tell you that you can't, then you can. And so a lot of times they'll show you, they'll make like the lever be orange. But these kids were very much like, I don't want to push the orange lever, I want to go behind it, and I want to travel on the wood, which is considered no man's land, but the rules say that if I start from here, then I can do it. And so we would have to always go talk to a judge or a ref and say, this is what we're going to do, this is our interpretation of the rules, are you good with it? And so they would have to defend that to a ref, and every time they would defend it, and the ref would go, you're right, you're interpreting the rules correctly, you're bending a rule to make it work for you. And so they did that several times where they found a way around the system to make it easier for them.
You should all become lawyers.
I like those rules.
You had a question? No.
Well done.
Thank you.
Move to approve the agenda and the minutes of the January 18th and February 5th meetings.
Second.
Thank you. I have a motion, a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Dan, are you in favor? Okay, thank you. All right, unanimous. Thank you. Mr. Rose, academic report. Gerald, I think those kids are all going to be in that aviation program. I hope.
Pretty impressive, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
Real quick with that group, they didn't know it, but they practiced that impromptu today. I had special visitors in on a parent tour from China today, and they wanted to look. They're looking at trying to move to this area, and one of the gentlemen that was there has a student that's about 11 years old, will be going 12, and he's an engineer in China, very interested in the robotics program. When we got to talking a couple days ago, took him by there and met with Miss Davis, and so we took the two visitors from China, and we walked in, and those kids act like it was just another person in the room, and they went through the whole process about the swerve model and all that. They knocked it out of the park. They had 3D printing going on in there and talking about how they're using that for fundraising for their trip. It blew me away, and so they had a little impromptu on that. Didn't even realize it today. With some special guests. So cool bunch. Good thing they got going there. Hey, just real quick, we got academic focus. One of the highlights is this CTE month, and just some quick numbers I like to share, and then I've got a special presentation towards the end there from Ms. Holmes, and I think you're going to really enjoy that. Just some fun with numbers. I thank Mrs. Kathy Beckham over at high school for this. She helped out gathering a lot of this data for me. 64 CTE courses taught. That's over 299 sections in grades 7 through 12. A lot. 3,765 scheduled students amongst those grades. So obviously we're doubling up on a few of those classes. And you get down to this year's class of 24, 53. That's how many industry certifications earned just in the first semester, and they're now at a grand total of 647 industry certs for this current senior class. So there'll be a few more tacked on that towards the end, I would assume. So some pretty powerful numbers there and great things going on in that program. Total amount of courses we have is 26 total approved courses. We'll see that in a second on the next slide. And just a little back data there, and Miss Russell talked about this next back in July when she reviewed some numbers with you. But so I went back with her and got some more of this information. The class of 23 last year finished up 117 seniors, completed 218 programs and study areas. So there was a lot of those chords that got at the graduation, those completer chords. That's 44% of that class was a completer at least one area. Very successful. Go to that next slide, Ms. Kelly. That's a list of all the, for everyone that don't already have those, it's a list of all the 26 courses that's approved throughout the district. A lot of opportunities for exploration to see what they might be interested in going into. It's just some current pictures, some things that people from the CTE programs have taken part in just recently. Cool shout-outs there. And some more student organizations that you're familiar with: FBLA, FCCLA, FFA, which is now a national FFA organization, changed, HOSA, and then TSA. This is something I wanted to throw in here today. Miss Becca Camp's done a ton of work with this and worked with some community partners at the chamber and things. This is the boot camp that a few of us are going to be able to attend, thank goodness, and learn a lot more about this partnership. We're looking at Mountain Home, trying to make them and Baxter County a work-ready community. And it'd be a partnership to where the businesses in the area will be able to qualify to be one of these work-ready communities, and opened up doors. I gave you all a brochure, a little bit about that. Should be in front of you, gives you a little more information to that. You see the following individuals that's going to be attending this camp next week in Conway. It's on the 21st and 22nd. Ms. Pugsley from the Chamber, Ms. Bentley from ASU Mountain Home Workforce, and then of course Ms. Becca Camp, Ms. Bergenstock, and myself will be going. And the goal of that is to build that bridge between the school and the community, and offer attractions for more businesses to come into our area, for one thing, and then also to give a better pathway for our students to have a place to go when they leave our school. Tying into that, you've heard a little bit about the ACT work keys. This is all partnered into that. So when the students take the work keys assessment, if they score certain levels on that, they can qualify to start out at these work-ready community businesses at a higher pay rate, get their foot in the door, some more certification type things. There's about 4 levels of that. But just more opportunities, more chances for that community tie, and getting our kids out there into those pathways. Like I said, Miss Becca Camp's she's led a ton of this work in here, and had worked with the chamber previously to help make this happen. Just want to give a big shout out to her on this information. I've got a link in that PowerPoint there that you all have access to as well, to get you to the home page there for the Work Ready community.
How many kids do we have signed up to take this right now?
80.
Is it up to 80 now? Yeah, it was 75 a few days ago.
We'll take ACT work keys.
Yes.
Right. And you can take it and ACT? You could do, or either, right?
Either or both.
Okay.
I believe last count, 80 is more than we had that I heard last, but I think Ms. Russell had said 215 were signed up to take the ACT, and then I believe 75 and now 80 is the work keys.
We probably have between 40 and 50 that elected to take both.
Cool. That's great.
And you know, if you remember back in July, you know, Ms. Russell, kudos to her, that was one of her big goals for this year, was to really push options, open up ideas and options for our students, so that they didn't feel like the only choice they had to have was to go take the junior ACT exam. Just to give them that option, not tell them one way or the other, but to open up and just be more aware of things. And she's visited with those students in their AAPs and classes and talked to them a lot about those options along the way. So kudos to that. And also, she's another thing she had mentioned she's wanting to do is bring back the ACT boot camp, and they're having that next week. I think on the 20th. If
Next
I'm
week.
not mistaken. Yeah. So a lot of work going in to help prepare kids for sure.
Good stuff.
All right, just a couple academic updates before we get to the presentation. This is just a little quick. I tried to do just kind of a little one-liner so we can go through this quick, because I know Ms. Holmes has a fun thing coming up for us. It'll take just a few minutes. You remember back last month we talked about applying for the HIT tutoring pilot grant that the state had pushed out, and good news, we got awarded the grant, over $330,000
Wow.
reimbursable. Just a big shout out to the principals. They did a ton of the heavy weight carrying on this, and have spent hours and hours working on how we're going to make this work in our system with our kids, with our teachers, without overwhelming. They've thought it through so well, put in a ton of time. It's going to help several kids in our schools for sure. And that's going to cover pretty much every campus we have, minus Guyberry. They've got a lot of things already going on there, and a lot of programs and a lot of help going on there. This is going to hit all the other campuses. So I wrote, along with the principals, we come up with 3 separate applications and turned those in. And kindergarten, and you'll see that here in a little bit in an action item. First grade, second grade, and they partnered with Hackler with a vendor, and then 6-10 with Mr. Smith, Mr. McCarn, Ms. Russell partnered with a separate vendor. So trying a few different things, just trying to see if we can help more kids, take every opportunity we can to help as many as we can. Some other shout outs, high school. Ms. Russell told me 2 days ago they have kept their attendance over 95%. That's huge. They had some big growth in 10th grade math scores from beginning of the year to middle. You guys may have seen some celebrations she posted on that. Also, Mr. McCarn, they posted, and we talked about a little bit the other day when we were there for that meeting, but big growth in math score at his campus. Pinkston, high growth and achievement from beginning and middle of the year for the whole campus. That was huge. And you'll see, we're growing across every place. Hackler, Nelson Wilkes in kindergarten, big jumps on the Dibbles we talked about previously. The teachers, the principals, everybody, they're doing the work. It's impressive. Really impressive what's going on out there.
That's exciting news.
It's very
Good
exciting.
stuff.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
We're on the right trajectory for sure. All right, with that being said, some fun stuff for sure. It's good news. Now we'll bring some fun news and fun times. I'm going to present Miss Jennifer Holmes, Foundations of Healthcare. She's got a little presentation ready for you, so I'm going to turn it over to, you're going to be her class for the next few minutes.
Oh, boy.
All right, Miss Holmes, come on up.
It's a full circle moment because I had Miss Barbara Horton for 4th grade, so now you're part of my classroom. So thank you, Mr. Rose. So let's just get right into things. You guys are my satellite Foundations of Healthcare class now, okay? Tonight, while we usually take a look at healthcare in my class, I want you to see the amazing technology that I wrote a grant for and that you guys approved in December. I want you to get an opportunity to see what you have provided for students, okay? So the beauty of these virtual headsets is that it's a safe environment to learn. At junior high level, they're not allowed to go to the hospital, and they're not allowed to even step foot in there until they're 16. Well, that gives my students a disadvantage. And a lot of the programs that are provided for nursing or surg tech, you do a full year of academic learning before you ever touch a patient. And I have several friends who would start that program, and then when it finally started clinical time, like, I hate this. And so this virtual learning, it gives students an opportunity to see, I don't like this. You can assist a surgeon with a knee surgery, or you can, as Mr. Rose got to experience, you can go restore a communications tower and climb up 400 feet in the air. And you'll be like, I don't like this. Very early on, and it gives you just enough, but you're safe while you're doing it. Gives them a chance to make mistakes, to drop a tool and not have to climb down 300, 400 feet and get it. Because it magically appears back up in your hand. But it still gives this opportunity. So there's zero pressure to do this, okay? However, I highly recommend you doing it because it's really cool. So before we put the headsets on, you get to experience. Go ahead and grab your gray headset case. I want to show you and kind of familiarize you with it. Okay, so in your gray headset, it unzips. It goes from the right to the left.
Right to left.
Okay, it'll unzip. In there, you'll find 2 handheld controllers. Okay, they are made specifically for a hand, so your hand should go up, and you'll have 2 triggers that you hit. Okay, when your hand goes around it, your middle finger should end up on a button. If it doesn't, trade them. Okay. So the other big thing that I want you to do is to slip your hand into these little strings and not do what I did as I was in my kitchen, doing the same thing that Mr. Rose was, and I was 400 feet in the ground, and I couldn't reach the bar, and I jumped, and I fell through my boundary, and I screamed, but thankfully I jumped through my boundary and realized I was still in my kitchen. So, but had I not had these strings on, I would have dropped my handheld, and I don't want that for you. Next thing you get to do is the headset itself. Before you put it on, the way is
Hard.
my 8th and 9th graders have used these today. Some have big heads, some have small heads. Everybody's head shape is different. If you need it looser, just pull the edges. If you need it tighter, just pull the plastic pieces apart. If it goes and it doesn't fit on your head right, and you feel there's a middle piece in the middle that Velcros, you can undo that middle piece up top and put it on.
There will be no photography taken.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I'm trying to get a grant next year, so there will be
We are
photography.
streaming live.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
If you wear glasses, it
Yeah.
fits over your glasses, so you should be fine. There is a button on the right-hand side. You can just hit that, and it will turn it on. You'll see a little light come on. If it doesn't come on, hit it a little bit longer. Okay?
This one, how do you make it? It's too big.
Okay?
this
logic
is bad.
pieces and just pull them apart from each other.
Okay, I did it. Okay, got it.
All right.
How'd you do that?
On the side, you have to go to the back.
Oh, my.
And where's the button?
The button is on the right-hand side. You'll
I
feel
am
it,
that kid.
hold it.
Can't find
So when it does come on, you'll see a
you see the button?
blue sign that says Meta. Or it's just a blue Meta
on the
symbol
bottom.
and it kind of rotates around.
Did the kids figure this out quicker than the, how
No,
to do
I've
it
dealt
than
with this
the
all
adults?
day. I
Okay, good.
practiced for this all day, so I've been
makes me
dealing
feel
with this all
better.
day. Uh-huh. So you'll see a blue symbol. It should go around in a circle, and then it's going to ask you to confirm a boundary.
Yes.
I've already done that for you. Just confirm your boundary. It
I'm
should
dead.
be good.
Whoa.
Do I need to put batteries in it?
It should be fully charged.
Oh, that goes around the back.
I got a black screen.
So how do you confirm?
Is this my button?
Loading.
I did it.
Oh,
Yeah, put it over your glasses and then
Oh, look at you.
I've just done it a few times.
it's on the wrong way.
There it goes.
Okay.
My boundary.
Confirm boundary.
When it says
Lord.
confirm boundary,
Does
you
that
will
feel okay?
use.
Yes.
Okay. So when it says confirm boundary, you'll use your trigger button on your controller.
Oh, I'm dizzy.
Me too. I'm about to throw
Holy
up.
cow.
Okay.
Get a little corset.
Hey, yeah, yeah.
If you get
Oh.
sick at any
Oh.
time, just take the headset off. So
Like I'm
you will
sweating.
use the trigger button to confirm
this
your
is not
boundary.
good.
This is like Star Wars. Oh, over
Okay.
there. I want one of these.
It should give you a black screen.
Yeah.
Just black screen.
Okay.
Black screen.
Eventually, it'll should pop up and you'll have the option to choose Career
Glasses.
Exploration
Is that it?
2. That's what you need to hit.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
I just did it.
Do you see career exploration?
I
too?
do.
yet. It's still black with
If for some reason it goes black and it asks you, do you want to continue with this app or close it, close that app. And then it'll take you to the Career Exploration.
This way.
This is like Star Wars.
So how,
Oh, is it? Is it on my deal?
so with
I don't even see the
Yes, ma'am.
turn these around
Okay.
like that.
I'll see
And your
those.
finger will go and I'm going to turn that one around.
Yeah, what do I
So
do?
do we
Is
confirm?
everyone in?
Yes.
It won't let me confirm it.
Oh, there we go. Oh,
Okay.
now I can see it.
Is it not letting you
No.
It is.
Back up from the desk.
Can
Oh,
you see
This is some
okay?
groovy music.
So do we continue or
I
just
can't
keep
see
still?
anything now. So
I don't
Okay,
have
it's
an
gonna
account.
go black.
You don't
Okay.
have continue?
I'm all the way to I don't have an account.
Okay, when it says I don't have an account, click that I don't have an account.
So do we go continue
Oh, my
or enter a new
goodness.
classroom?
I'm
You
still
want to
on confirm.
continue your classroom. And you'll hit I don't have an account and then you'll see some legal screen, just accept it. Now, when you hear that ding, you're going to see a star like fly out in front of you. Just touch it.
Are y'all going to make
see
a
that.
TikTok out of this? Because I
How to
sure.
do that.
Okay, good.
Okay, do I?
Sure, grab the
do I hit
key.
Continue right here? Is somebody behind me?
I got somebody to the
Nobody's
left.
behind you.
So what
I
is
just want to know.
I see a key and a hand.
all I
Okay,
see?
so when you get to the key, you're going to use your middle finger with that button, and you're going to reach out and grab it with your middle finger
Oh, wow.
on the thing,
Yeah.
and then you stick it in the lock.
What if you just see arrows?
Wait, that's my.
Like laser-looking things.
Lasers with arrows going.
Yeah.
It's loading.
What do you see, Barbara?
I see a keyboard.
Okay, it's doing
She
something.
sees a
Oh,
keyboard?
it's doing something now.
You
See your
said career
hands?
exploration too?
I do.
Career
I got
exploration.
the, did you grab the key?
No, I haven't seen it.
You gotta place the key in the lock and
Miss
release the
Horton, is
grip
it
button.
asking you to type in a
There
code?
yet.
Press the grip button. What are you?
Oh, I
The
see
classroom
your hands.
code?
You're good.
No?
Okay, so
Wait a minute, yes it does. Example, what do I need to do?
Does it say,
click
I
your,
don't have an
click your
account
button
below it?
on your
No.
gripper.
It says submit.
Press the grip button.
Okay. I'm gonna hit a button on your controller
Okay.
and
Oh,
reset that.
there it goes.
Oh my goodness, my hand.
Do I want to continue or enter a new classroom?
Continue into the same classroom.
Okay. I got login information.
Do I submit on this?
Uh,
I don't have an example.
I've unlocked it.
Classroom.
Ooh,
so when you can pick any of the following.
helping an
gonna
emergency
try.
room patient fix a broken assembly line.
All I have, I won't go.
If you help with the surgery, you will get blood squirted on your
Oh yeah,
goggles.
no, we're not going there.
How do you go to
Just got a
continue? You hit
username and
continue?
password it's asking for.
Does it have,
Yeah,
I
it
don't
is.
have an account below.
Does.
Hit that.
Yeah.
Ms. Horton, has it helped you? Is it doing it yet?
I'll help at a car crash.
I want to do something.
Okay,
I'm somewhere else now.
you're somewhere else
I don't
now?
know where. I have
Are
red
you-
lines.
Is it more?
Oh, are you in like a glass room?
It doesn't show me anything. It's black with arrows.
Black with arrows, okay, just wait for that, that should resolve.
Mine's still
Okay.
loading. I'm not.
Mine
I'm
is
still
my
black
vote,
with
too.
arrows.
You're still black with arrows as well?
You haven't got to the key yet?
No.
No key? Oh,
Mine's not, oh, there we go.
All the arrows
Yeah,
are
I'm
changing
in the middle of,
directions.
I'm gonna step right.
Well, I have this at home.
I'm gonna hit a button for you.
I'm about to buy this.
we just had an accident with an ambulance.
Want to help with a car crash?
So do I just wait, Jennifer? Do I wait in this one?
If you wanna climb up high, you can do the help fix a telecommunication tower.
Building destroyed.
That's a communication tower that's been destroyed by a tornado.
So mine says continue again. It's not. I'll put this one.
You can do continue in a classroom.
Or enter a new classroom or
No,
continue?
you want continue in the same classroom.
No.
Doesn't give you that option?
I did. but
I'm
I
trying to
did.
press the button. Don't yell at me. Who is this woman?
Mine's still just arrows.
I'm pressing the button,
That's all I
ma'am.
have is arrows.
Yeah,
Arrows?
yeah, still not working.
How
I
do you-
have a different one that I can switch you out of.
See if this works, you can try, because I'm not.
And that happens. And then when that happens in a class, we just switch it out. So if you want to see what they are seeing, they're going to play a video so you can kind of get an idea of what's going on after this.
Ew.
So
Is there a trick to pressing the button?
I'm still in
you
arrows.
through it how to do various things. But you're actually, you can look around and you have a
I'm trying.
view of what's going on. Trade me, Miss Terry.
So I log in, you don't do anything?
It says I don't have an account. Is that one of your options?
No.
On career exploration too?
No.
Did you continue in the classroom?
Yes. Says, oh, it has enter login.
And there's no,
And
I
I'm
don't
sitting,
have
and
an
I'm sitting
account.
in like a hospital.
Okay. I'm gonna hit a button for you.
Okay.
We need a 10-year-old to help me here.
I have one of these at home, it's just I'm not doing
I'm
anything.
gonna hit a button.
These people are gonna die before I can help them.
Okay.
I can't even press the button to start the resuscitation.
Start virtual healthcare.
Did the second one work? Miss Terry?
Just confirm floor level.
Is it at the floor?
No, it wasn't.
Okay, move your hand down to the floor level and it'll move the floor.
Oh, maybe that's what it is.
Like you actually have to bring your arm down to the floor.
Confirm stationary boundary.
Uh-huh.
Just confirm.
Yep.
Press the button to teleport. If I hear her say it one more time.
So you will point at it, or you
Yes.
can reach out and then hit the trigger. Does that work?
No, it just keeps.
Try your grip button, maybe that'll do it.
Press the button to teleport.
That's pretty cool.
Is it doing it yet?
Mm-mm.
Press the button to teleport.
Oh, there we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's,
John's sick. John is bleeding.
I'll have to
Are you all right, John?
Dan, did you get in?
Hi, John.
I'm just at, it's a
Hold
virtual
still.
healthcare clinic and then back to virtual healthcare clinic.
Okay, get out of there, you wanna go to career exploration.
yeah,
So back.
it's all black and white.
Back to it.
Oh, now it's back into login.
I did. Oh,
Say, so go hit, you want to be in career exploration.
Yeah.
I need to back out of it.
Back,
I'm hanging on, John. Hang on, John. Don't die.
No, I'll come by. I'm gonna come visit. Do
okay.
it at your place.
How
Ms.
much?
Horton, did yours ever stop?
No, I'm enter on, I finally got off the arrows. Now I'm on enter classroom code.
Does it say I don't have an account? Is that down below?
No, it doesn't. It says example and it says submit.
Think of it,
Okay, I wonder if it's switched over to virtual healthcare clinic.
an awesome way for them to see.
I just had a car crash, right? You're sitting there stabilizing the seat collar. and
Are you
taking the pulse,
stabilizing
feel
his
the
head,
pulse.
Scott?
He stabilized his head.
I can't reach
Oh,
his
you're
head.
good. You can stand
I
up.
have a keyboard in
You'll,
front
Oh, I
of
can
me.
stand up.
Yeah.
Oh, that's better.
Yeah.
Oh, he's alive. All right. Okay.
That's me.
Smile,
Oh,
get your
okay,
picture
good.
taken.
Oh, look, she marked the microphone.
You're welcome, John.
Breathing appears normal.
Good.
Let's make sure he has a strong pulse. Place your fingers on John's wrist. Feel that? We needed to confirm that his pulse is present, and it is. A different team member confirmed there are no external signs of bleeding, so we can...
This is wild. Are y'all still out here?
Yeah.
Is everybody still here?
That's why I told you.
Are we still having a
All right,
meeting?
Miss Horton.
Yes.
Switch me.
I haven't
headsets.
adjourned.
able to respond to commands.
Stay still,
Put my
John.
hands down.
You can just take that headset off. I'm gonna have you switch out.
John, which hand did we
Try
touch?
that one. That one should be
Oh.
set to go.
This is great news.
If y'all could just see what we see, it would probably be better to understand.
Okay, so.
Okay, help me get it on.
So that goes in your hand, other hand, that goes in left hand, this goes in right hand. Yes,
Your
ma'am.
hand near John's neck.
Like when you back out of the ring, you can see.
All right, it looks like it's 3 fingers from his shoulder to his chin.
Yes.
I'll adjust the seat collar.
Oh, gosh.
Okay.
Nothing.
Slip it around his neck.
Bob, are you doing okay over there?
They look like screw holes, but I assume those are eyes.
I guess so.
The team needs to apply a back brace before they remove John from the vehicle. We'll wait by the stretcher.
Can I take this off now?
Press the button to
Yes,
tell
you
the
can.
Yeah, you can take it off whenever
Okay.
you're ready.
I think we got him stabilized. John is getting in the ambulance now.
We're not gonna lose them.
I'm gonna pray for you, John.
They can always make an appointment.
They can, and I'm not picking these back up till Monday, so you can play with them as much as you want in your executive portion, so.
Oh, that'll be fun.
All right, so before I take questions and stuff like that, I did want to tell you a quick story about how we got this grant approved in probably the end of October. You guys approved it in December, and you approved it in November, I got the headsets in December. And so right before Christmas break, instead of me trying to get 15 Oculuses hooked up to the internet, I had my homeroom do it, my AAP group do it. And they're like, can we try these? And that was where that picture came from of the different people. And one of the kids, he has told me since the very beginning, he's a very quiet 8th grade, he's like, I'm just taking this because I need an elective, I'm going to be a chemical engineer. I don't care. Have fun. Okay. And so he has an Oculus at home. Can I try it? Sure. Figured it out very quickly. And he's standing in a corner, and he's so quiet, never talks to my class. And he's like, Miss Holmes, this is awesome. Miss Holmes, I just got blood on my face. This is the greatest thing ever. Forget chemical engineer. I'm going to be a surgeon now. And so it's like a simple VR headset could possibly have changed the entire trajectory of this kid's life. And so I wanted to tell you thank you for saying yes to allowing us to purchase these. So
I think it's fabulous.
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Thanks for letting
do
us
you
look like
have
fools.
any questions?
If I see this on TikTok, Jennifer, I swear.
Do you have any questions for me before I head back to parent-teacher conference?
No, ma'am.
All right.
You go.
Thank you guys so much.
Holmes,
Thank you so much.
Ms. Holmes.
Well, okay, back to reality. Ms. Cotter, financial reports. We're going from this to that.
Honey.
I know, you guys always make me.
I'm sorry. How much were these?
That's a really good question, and I didn't check. Several, like, I thought we had about a 30,000, the 30, how did I remember that?
Okay.
But I thought it was about 30,000.
How many did she get?
15,
Wow. Thank God for grants.
yeah. And she had, I believe she
nice
went to
guy.
a training
He's
in
giving.
Melbourne at one of the co-ops, and that's where she had seen them or had heard about them and went to a training. Anyway, really neat.
So is that with the programming, the software, and can you upgrade that? And
I don't know about upgrades. I don't know enough about VR, but it was all grant funded.
And they are upgradable, and I think there's some contracts involved in keeping them updated and current stuff. So.
Pretty cool.
these are
Steve was
targeted toward
telling
the
him
medical industry
Right now they are.
overall?
That's the ones we're using, right?
Well, there's
But
the,
those programs are just a career
Everything.
exploration
Yeah,
also, so
like the high tower.
Tell me they're updating a lot more programs to put in there that that crew
For all.
information will go away. They're adding like 60 different ones that's coming.
So
That's a good
it's kind of
question.
a generic headset and then programmable to different,
The transfer is the company that's, where they're getting those through with the different pathways or whatever, exploration pieces.
But she does teach the medical.
Yes.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch.
Or Leah.
Hi, Ms. Cotter.
Good evening.
Thank you.
Tonight, we will go over the statement of changes in fund balance for the month ending January 31st of 2024. Just to highlight some of the things of the activity in January, I did want to point out in Fund 2001 revenue, you can see we got in $3.9 million. I wanted to point out that $2.7 million of that was from property tax relief. And that's coming into us a little differently than it has in the past. Usually it's spread out over several months in the spring semester. However, this time they gave us a lump sum in January. And so in the upcoming months, you're going to see that that's less, that we'll receive less because they gave us a big chunk in January. They do go back, let me see, I have a note about that. There are 3 certifications done each year, and that's in March, June, and November. So if there are any adjustments to the 2.7 that we received, it'll occur in those certification periods.
Okay.
And just to compare what we received for property tax relief in January of 2023, we received 1.4. So you can see that's a bit more in that one payment.
That's why the fund balance looks so good.
That's right. Yes.
Looks are deceiving.
Yeah.
Disclaimer.
Yeah.
Well,
Asterisk.
Already got the money.
Ready to tear the rug out from underneath this.
Thankfully, though, our interest on our checking is very high. We ended the month of January with $18,401,090.86. Be watching in March. I will be bringing budget adjustments to you. They've started this week putting out final allocations, and I did that a little bit differently this year. Instead of bringing them over and over and over again, I've waited for them to put out the final ones so you can approve all those kind of in one fell swoop versus having some all the time. Also, I'll point out in Fund 2340, that's our aviation startup, and we have the privilege of getting to visit that classroom. And just wanted to report that we finished up that grant in January, and we're currently finishing up the reporting to the state so that we can get that final reimbursement for that grant. Any questions?
Any questions for Ms. Cotter?
Okay, moving on to the next one. This is our statement of changes of revenue and expenditures for the month of January. We had total revenues of $4,652,091.82 with total expenditures of $3,560,214.12. As compared to last year, we are tracking about the same. I will say our revenue is up a little bit, but we also know we got the $1.5 million for the teacher salaries, and then with this additional, with the tax relief being paid all at one, that bumped our revenues up.
Any questions?
Next, we have our monthly operating fund balance tracking, and this is Funds 1, 2, and 4 combined. And we ended the month of January with $11,561,389.20. And as you mentioned, Mr. Smitsky, the balance looks like it's up, but we also know we got all that
There's some
money at
extra
one
revenue.
time, and so it's gonna taper off in the next couple of months. Next, we have our statement of changes in our activity funds. And we ended the month of January with all funds combined with $517,053.87. The following pages, the next 3 pages are the system reports used to create the spreadsheets. And after that, we have the period 7 or the January check register.
Very good. Anyone have any further questions for Ms. Cotter? Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you.
I did tell you that I would bring a kind of a report of where we're tracking, and it is where we expected to be tracking with our budget. So we still have the same concern as far as the ending balance. But we're watching it very closely. So no changes there.
Student transfer update.
So transfers, enrollment first.
Enrollment.
Enrollment. So total enrollment is on this sheet 3,811, but it's actually 3,813 because Mr. Roach enrolled 2 more kindergartners. So that puts him as the winner this month. But
Get a pin.
it actually has our classrooms at kindergarten all at 20 and 1 at 21, which according to rules and regs, kindergarten may not have more than 20 students. So we have, it's a good thing, we have moved an aide into one of the classrooms and we can go to 22 in that classroom. So we were able to do that. Mr. Roach, thank you for being creative with finding a solution, and hopefully that will get us through the end of the year. If not, we will put another aide in another classroom.
It's a good problem to have.
It's a fantastic
Yes.
problem to have. And 22 is a lot in a kindergarten classroom. So, but that is that's a positive.
Now student transfer update.
Student transfers, we had 3 in and 2 out. Our 3 in is 1 from Calico and 2 from Flippin. Our 2 out were actually never our students. They have always been Cotter students, moved and back to the area, have a Mountain Home address, and so they're just going back to where they went to school originally.
That's a good thing, too.
It is a good thing,
Mhm.
3 and 2 out.
It's a great night.
So, all good on that front as far as student numbers.
Any questions for Ms. Dewey? All right, Mr. Knight, facilities update. Top that.
I never have good news. So the fire engineers got back with me yesterday, and they gave me the preliminary report. I'm calling it preliminary because their senior engineer is reviewing it right now. The next couple days, we'll have a formal stamped with header. And of course, we know what they want to do, which is full sprinklers on the top. We know we can't. Since we can't do that because the structure can't hold it, what they have said is the following, and I think they're reasonable. Increased lighting, it's already hard to see up there. It became smoky. It's even harder to see up there. A way to get the firemen in and out easier. Right now, there's only 2 entrances. So the improved egress capabilities, enhanced smoke detection systems, which we're working on anyway, a better way to get them to walk around in there and move around. And the number one thing that they recommended we do is the installation of standpiping throughout that structure. And what that is basically a place for firemen to come in and hook a hose up to, since there is no way to get a hose from the fire truck into the big top. So the next step with them would be to have them come and do a water pressure test to see if we have enough water pressure to even do that. And if we do, to contract them to, we don't have any drawings of the big top, never have, to CAD that up and and start designing this. The bad part of this would be if we do not have enough water pressure, we would have to make a decision whether or not you want to go ahead and do this, because the pump to run the water pressure would be at least $300,000.
When's tornado season?
Yeah.
I could only hope.
So-
Yeah, I said it. I did. Yeah.
Out loud,
I did, on recording
not in
too.
a VR headset.
Nope.
Okay, here we go.
Any questions?
It is what it
No,
is.
It's not terrible. It's nothing that's crazy expensive unless there's not.
Water pressure. So the next step is to do the water pressure test.
I think that's the cheapest,
Okay.
next easy step. I'm trying to get that scheduled, and I don't know if they'll have it done before the next board meeting or not, but
Hopefully, maybe, but our board meeting is early,
And what's
so.
what would be the water pressure at a fire hydrant out front for them to use? I mean,
we do have one out there.
but I mean,
Yeah.
how
Yeah. Where can we get the water from? Can I get the water in there? You know, is it enough to run the hose large enough for that?
Full 4 inches
So that's next.
to make that.
As far as projects for the summer, we do need to, during our work session,
Yep. I do agree.
probably after March 5th, we need to schedule some time to look at the list of projects that you all have considered in the past, and it's probably time to move ahead with some of those projects. Some of them are pretty exciting
Some are
and gonna be
expensive,
nice.
some of them
Some are
aren't.
expensive, some are not, some are ready to roll. We just need to prioritize and let Mr. Knight know what direction the board would like to go as far as some projects. You may remember the gravel by the Agri Barn. Bus turnaround is one of those projects. It was, the engineering is done for air conditioning in the junior high gym. Another one of those is our cafeteria at the high school. That's actually one that I'm suggesting, looking at something just to help our kids. A lot of those tiles are coming up. The
Tables are terrible.
tables, our kids cannot sit on the tables. They are literally breaking as they sit down. So we've got to do something. So,
I have a lot. I'm
there's
slowly
a lot
kind
on
of
the
adding to
list.
the spreadsheet that's on there for y'all. As I get more pricing and stuff, you'll be able to make better decisions.
We did remove an action item.
I did. I told you I was gonna bring the awning. The awning bid came in Wednesday, and it was way, way more. So it was 6 figures. The steel on that was like 70 alone. You know, I wanted to try to make it match exactly what was built when Hackett was built. And so, not saying we couldn't spend the money, but we may want to rethink that, maybe get it prefabricated aluminum, not as pretty, or something like that, if we want to keep going that direction.
It is on the side of the building, it is not on the front of the building, so that could be an option to do something less expensive that still looked nice, but was not matching what was already there.
So are all the kids gonna come out the end for the
That's-
fifth grade?
Fifth grade goes out that end, and
They don't come through that front part?
the
Okay.
issue is when it's raining and snowing this week, we have teachers that are, and kids that are getting soaked.
How long does that have to be? How long does it need to be?
I don't know.
I don't have, I got the engineering specs I can give you. It was gonna come out the door and turn and go all the way to the sidewalk by the,
Okay, to the sidewalk?
yeah.
Okay.
We weren't gonna get them halfway out there. We're gonna get them as close to the car as
Yeah,
we could.
That's not terribly far, I don't think.
So just
I
something to
can't
look at.
imagine it being worth that, so.
It
It
was,
was pretty steep, yeah, it was, I was not expecting that to come in anywhere near that.
so back up and punt on that one and get some numbers possibly for y'all soon with a little different design.
Do you know what the gauge of the metal is?
No, I know structural steel on that one, that's why it's so expensive. And it was all custom. When those were built, that was the way the architect designed them and.
Who built those?
Who built those? Will Gregory built them. He didn't do the whole school, but he did build the awnings parts.
Any other questions for Mr. Knight? Thank you, sir.
Okay, thanks.
All right, board action items, Mr. Rose, request to approve vendors. In excess of $20,000.
Yeah, so the background, board policy 7.5 MH and 7.13 MH requires board action for purchase in excess of $20,000. Rationale, put in there with the passage of the LEARNS Act, Arkansas is continuing its commitment to supporting academic outcomes of students statewide. The Arkansas Division of Elementary and Secondary Education is launching the High Impact Tutoring Grant Program. A new program will provide additional instructional support to students through high impact tutoring. Talked to you all about that last month. You know now that, of course, that we did get awarded. We got this letter sent to us on Friday, February 2nd, so congratulations. Division of Element DESE has approved a proposed high impact tutoring pilot program grant proposal. So that total amount in our budget that we worked with on that, it was, we'll go into that section. So the recommendation is to approve the total reimbursable amount of $331,685 for purchases with the following vendors. Bailey Education Group in the amount of $216,000. Book Nook Incorporated in the amount of $70,225. Waterford, another online platform, Waterford in the amount of $32,230. And then some additional services and materials of a total of $13,320.
Do I have a recommendation for Mr. Rose?
Make a motion, we accept the recommendation as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
That's too good to have to say anything about.
All in favor? Unanimous. Thank you, Mr. Rose.
Once again, just thanks to all my principals and everything, and they've been digging in the last few days just to say that. It's Kyle and I, we worked with Laura Strider, was it yesterday or the day before? It's fun. I mean, we worked for 2 hours. We didn't realize it had been 30 minutes. I mean, specifically digging in and seeing what kids are not getting, all the support we can give, maybe from other areas, and picking those out and trying to move specific. Really looking at essential kids versus just essential standards or whatever. I mean, it was a lot of fun. So we enjoyed the last few days of digging through that. They're doing great work with that. So
Thank you.
all.
Thank you. Request to approve 24-25 salary schedules, Mr. Engel and Ms. Cotter. Or just Ms. Cotter. More support.
You don't have to if you don't want to. That's fast. Each year, the school board must approve any updates to policy proposals by PGC or salary schedules part of the district policies. So the proposed changes to the salary schedule for the 2024-25 school year do not include a raise to any areas but are needed for clarification in the schedule. And so we recommend the board approve the 2024-25 district salary schedules as presented. I would like to mention, when you look at the ROTC portions, the Navy helps set those salaries, and the ones listed currently are prior year. And so we just received the updated one, so we'll be bringing that back to you at some point. I did want to make that clear.
Do we have a recommendation? I mean, a motion for the recommendation?
Make a motion, we approve the salary schedule for the 24-25 school year as presented.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
There's no change to it. It's just those two pieces that are annotated, right? The highlighted pieces?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Very good. All in favor? Unanimous, thank you. It wasn't so bad. Mr. Mr. Engel. Request to approve the 24-25 school calendar. Mr. Engel.
I was going to present the calendars with the virtual reality headset, but Ms. Dewey said no.
Been more fun.
That would have been interesting.
If you would, open the voting results. Calendar 1 was the favorite in both certified and classified. I don't know the exact numbers, but 159 responded out of about 300 certified, so you're looking at 50-something% there. Classified, probably about 30% responded. But in both cases, calendar 1 was the preferred calendar. So, not a whole lot more to say. I think it's identical to the calendar we presented, other than we built in, we actually built in the early release time into this one that we had accrued just through our extra minutes. And that will be in the spring during that long 8-week stretch where we were concerned that there were no breaks or anything, so there would be 3 of them in the spring.
All right.
I make a motion, we approve the 24-25 school calendar.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
I don't have much. I'll say one thing, Mr. Engel. I've heard from 2 people that brought this to my attention, so I'll mention it. So the days 1 through 5, bank instructional time, those are the snow days, right? Day 6 is January 20th, which is MLK Day. So if we have 6 or more snow days in November, December before January 20th, we'll be in school on MLK Day. That's correct. Looking over here into February, there's a CT Flex Day on the 14th. And just maybe going forward, maybe consider this, it's just consideration, where if we have, or when we have 6 snow days, where we keep that MLK Day off, right? These folks who talked to me and said, hey, we have a population here of minorities, it's an important holiday. And I agree with that. So maybe if day 6 would be that February 14th and the CT Flex Day would be on January 5th. Basically swap those, where the staff would be here on MLK Day, but the students still have that holiday off in honor of Martin Luther King. So just something to consider going forward. I had a couple people mention that to me.
And that placement is strategic because we have to have the 10 days by law. So we know that there's a very slim chance that by that January 20th we'd use 6 days. So
it'll
by
happen
placement
sooner
as a
or later,
day,
yeah.
it's almost just making sure it's the 10th day.
Sure.
And that's why it's the first one,
Gotcha.
because we know we're not likely to, which is not likely to happen. But understood.
Thank you.
Okay, all in favor? Unanimous. Thank you, Mr. Engel. Ms. Cotter requests to approve related party disclosures.
Tonight, I'm bringing to you 2 related party disclosures that have been brought to my attention. The first is to do business, a request to do business with Mackenzie Drury, who has choreographs for dance teams. And the second is with Shelby Singletary. She has a relative who owns 101 Pastries and Cream, and at times there may be an opportunity or a need to purchase from that business. So I'm asking that the board approve a resolution to do business with the following vendors.
Where's the samples?
Just paperwork.
Do you want me, Kelly? Do you want me?
Okay. Is she recording? She's still recording. Oh, we're good. Okay.
We do have resolution
I did
attached.
too.
I'll make a motion to approve the related party disclosures.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Barbara. We're going to give it to Barbara.
Okay.
Motion second. Any discussion for Ms. Cotter while we reboot the computer? No. All in favor? Unanimous. Thank you, Ms. Cotter. All right. Well, board discussion. Mr. Engel, PPC stipend review. Do we want to wait? Oh, it's something we need to look at?
Yeah,
Okay.
yep.
Do you want me to?
Couple more.
I can project up there. I can project for you.
Be careful.
I am.
Not Blake Shelton up there. Oh, wait, that would be my computer.
I know that surprises you, but I
It's
don't
not
have
here.
that. Oh, it's currently in use, Kelly. You'll have to.
Kelly, she's reset your password, so you're. I'm gonna text it to you.
Oh, okay, good.
Tell us what it is,
No, I'm
Jennifer.
not gonna do that.
In open session, well, it's maybe
On
being
the
recorded.
live stream.
Yeah.
The soup bowls tonight was very successful.
Fantastic. 150 bowls were gone within the first 30
I
minutes.
didn't get a bowl, yeah, it was too late.
Did you get a bowl? Stremesky's and Booth?
I didn't, but I
You
got
did
a
not?
bill for $270.
Yeah, I think I got a lot of auction items instead of a bowl.
I'm wondering what auction items I got. They haven't texted me yet. to
Instead
tell
of
me.
receiving, giving.
Two-factor authentication.
You don't have to do the G.
The G's already there,
The
honey.
G's already there.
It's a G thing.
We have a ball game tonight? What else we got going on?
We do not have a ball game. Ball game tomorrow night.
Ball game tomorrow. Last
Parent-teacher
home game,
conferences.
isn't it?
Teachers are just now getting done.
Mitch, is tomorrow the last home game? No.
It's a away
Next
game.
Friday, okay.
Going to Greenwood tomorrow.
Oh, green.
Boys and girls. It's a long way.
And a really good team.
They are very good.
So is Mountain Home now.
That's
So
right.
is Mountain
We are on a roll. Good vibes.
Teachers are on contract flex time tomorrow. So they're not sad about that.
We can all go agree.
All right.
Okay. And we're on.
So during one of our snow days, the stipend subcommittee of PPC met for probably 3 hours and just really made a lot of progress. If you would, open the policy 3.1. Now what this is just where our brainstorming took us, and we took this to PPC, and we're bringing it to you guys simply for discussion. The goal is to take you guys' input, meet in March, and then after we meet in March, bring it back to you next month for approval. So it would involve a change to our 3.1 policy, and we're just adding a new bullet point, basically explaining the procedure that would take place if someone wanted to either add a new stipend or make an amendment to the current stipend that they are receiving. It's pretty wordy, and it's going to go through a lot of hands, but we actually kind of like that because, I mean, if it's an outlandish request, it will die early in the process before too much is involved into it. So we'll start out with a form, which we've also attached, but that form will be taken to the building principal or the athletic director, depending on the nature of the stipend. With their signature, it would then go to the superintendent. From there, I believe it would go to the finance committee, because ultimately they should have the most, most feel of the finances there. Then it would come to PPC simply because that's what policy already says. It would be an amendment to the salary schedule, so it would come through PPC, and then ultimately we'd go to you guys after that. But we've attached a form of what we just think would be a good starting point, if you guys agree. Some things that they would have to attach to this, they have to write a job description if they were asking for a new stipend, list what additional duties would be with this stipend, and log of their necessary hours. And the thought there is if we know approximately how many hours outside the contract this takes, that will allow for proper placement of the stipend, depending on which tier stipend it would fall into. A catch that comes with this, the other form, which is for changing a stipend, it's going to be hard to judge where a stipend falls unless we have pretty detailed job descriptions of those stipends, which I know exist somewhere, but that would just be a catch with this. We'd have to ensure that we have up-to-date job descriptions so we have some comparability between requests.
Have you seen any buzz that they're wanting to do some more changes? Is that what this is coming from?
I think it's mostly just having a mechanism for when somebody wants to. And I know there are a couple of positions I'd like to see our National Honor Society of High School be stipended. amount of time that goes into that. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Bomb squad, they receive a stipend, but again, if you look at the log of their hours, it's unbelievable the amount of time they put into it. So I could see that would be the only buzz I've
Okay.
heard.
Fair. Any,
So, I've been the one that's kind of asking for this and talking about it, so I think this is a really good, first look at it. It removes the subjectivity out of it, where, hey, it's gonna go to the principal, it's gonna go through the superintendent of finance and PPC and comes to us. So I like it, it gives us that structure for adding a new one. I was just sitting back last night thinking about it, and maybe a couple other things to consider. One, maybe a grievance or a way to, if it gets shut off at one level, where somebody has a way to appeal it. To further reduce, hey, well, that person doesn't like me, and so it didn't get past that. So maybe have some language in there for filing a grievance or to appeal it to a higher level, maybe. The other thing I was thinking about it is, so this is for the new stipends, and that's great, but we could easily do this for reviewing our current stipends as well too. Just say, hey, and it's just putting it out there, maybe every 2, 3, or 4 years, every stipend is going to redo this. And we'll go through that approval process. That gives us a look at new stipends approval, and it gives us a way to review existing stipends and make sure that they're still on the mark where they need to be. Hey, this program has grown from where it was, or it's gotten smaller, so it gives an idea or gives an opportunity to adjust stipends down as well too, with a non-subjective timeline. Just, hey, every X number of years, this stipend will get reviewed, and you'll put in
that's
an
on that
application,
other
et cetera.
form, isn't
And
it?
the second page of this form is effectively that. Now, it doesn't have a every 5-year commitment, but
Sure.
this would allow people to take ownership of their stipend effectively and argue for themselves whenever.
Yeah.
But I'm certainly in support of a
Yeah.
hard renew them every year.
That would, or not every year, but right.
time.
Even tiers on even years, and odd tiers, whatever it is, but that gives us a way to continually review the stipends without putting an undue burden of, hey, everyone's doing it, all the stipends every year. But it also, hey, we don't want to open up a can of worms and look at stipends. Well, no, it happens every 2 years or every 3 years. This stipend, you're going to reapply for it, and it's going to get reconsidered, go through that process. That removes some of that subjectivity out of it and gives us hey, we're always kind of staying on top of our stipends to make sure the program hasn't grown or gotten smaller, we need to make an adjustment. It's just a thought, something for y'all to consider.
Great idea.
Since we're just in discussion, I'm gonna take the other side and put subjectivity back into it. Putting these headsets on was sobering for me. When I was younger, I used to randomly visit nursing homes and talk to folks. And their bodies may be broken down, but their minds were a lot of times sharp. And the changes that they've seen in their lifetime was amazing to me. They went from horse-drawn carriages to an automotive world, to flying, to the moon, maybe not even having electricity. So now that I'm during the nursing home stage, I have a new perspective. I've not been here as long as them, but I have a perspective of time. I'm pretty well versed on whether it be AI or blockchain technology or social media or what, I'm looking at what's going on. Virtual reality. I'm looking at virtual reality here. So one of our strongest assets is our experienced teachers. But we've got a situation right now where if we don't engage our students quickly, we lose them. And I can see how that would happen. They're in a world that's like bouncing. And if we got a teacher that's living in the old world and can't engage them, that's an experienced teacher. We're talking about experience, we're talking about time, we're talking about a lot of things, but we're not talking about performance. I would like to put performance into this. It may be subjective, but what are we accomplishing? Just putting in the years. We're in a different time. I said this whole story to say, I'm watching technology change so quickly. This world is changing so quickly. We have got to adapt quickly, or education is going to fall so far behind society that we're going to live in our own bubble and it's going to pop around us and we're not going to see what's going on. So I'm not against somebody being compensated for their work, but doing the minimum doesn't work for me anymore. It's just doing the minimum doesn't work. Be an example for the next generation going out there into the workforce, because I'm seeing, my complaint is I can't get a student that, or a young person that has a work ethic or has any abilities at all. We got to retrain totally. So stipends would be great. Good pay is great. But I want to see performance too, and just because we did it that way 30 years ago, we need to look at the whole picture. You didn't get to see the world, but if our kids are looking at this world, and we can show them in 10 minutes, like, oh, I don't want to be a doctor, you know, it's a different world we're in. So I'm just coming from the other side, we're just having discussion, but.
Okay.
But wouldn't that fall where the principal reviews it and says, hey, is this about, and then the superintendent, it goes, yes, we're getting the value we need out of it, and then PPC looks at it, so, I mean, they're not gonna just rubber stamp it, that's where those signatures are required to say.
Oh, we're going into uncharted territory with everything I just said, so, yeah. I just started the discussion, is all I did.
Okay. Do I have a motion? Where are we at?
Sorry.
Oh, we're just, okay, so I need a motion.
No, we don't.
Oh, wait, we're just discussing. Sorry. Yeah.
That was just discussion.
Yeah.
But thank you, like I said, I think that was a really good first take at it.
Yeah, thank you.
Anybody else have anything to add?
For board discussion?
More board discussion? Other items to talk about?
Have we ever had President's Day off?
School
Maybe
Board
a-
President's Day off?
Maybe a long time ago. Have we ever had teachers, have we ever had President's Day off? No?
No, I've never heard of that.
Okay.
Maybe for snow.
So, I think so we have Martin Luther King off, but we don't have President's Day off. Okay. Just curious.
Any other discussion, since we've got that ball rolling? Rolling.
Good.
You're good?
I'm good.
Everything's good in Jason's world, good. Anybody have anything out there like to add? It's your discussion too.
Actually, I did forget to bring one thing up about the calendar.
Okay. Hang on, let's,
As a
Oh.
person who stands in the rain 5 days a week for 175 days, we need that awning. It's not even about me anymore. It's about the paraprofessional that has the duties with us. We are out there every day, every day. We were out there Monday in that blizzard, temporary blizzard, soaking wet, covered with snow, as were the kids. I mean, I have asked for this awning this is the 10th year
since the school was built.
since I have stood out there 5 days a week. I do 2 extra duties to help out. And I know it's a lot of money, but we really need it.
Good point. All right.
I know that was pulled, kind of, hey, review what our options are, maybe a cheaper option, but, I mean, it needs to happen.
That's the plan.
It needs to happen.
It really needs to happen, I mean, that's what
Yeah.
the building fund is for
We'll
updates and projects like this.
look at that
Yeah.
quickly.
Rain, hail, snow.
Yeah, we're not
It's
ixnaying
not
it.
that we're not doing it, it's that we're looking
We're looking
for
at it,
better
we're reviewing
options
for it.
than what we have.
It's,
You know, and since we're just discussing, why couldn't we maybe ask ASU, the welding kids, or,
It's the price of the steel right now, I think, so that's
Just
the
not the
idea
labor.
is
that's
to
what my thought
go.
went too, is.
Yeah.
make
It's to
project
go a
as
little different direction on the material. That's what Chris was gonna look at.
like aluminum or?
That's what he was thinking.
Okay.
And then I did.
3D
visit-
printer, can we maybe do? That stuff's pretty strong.
So, looking at a different material And
Not
that's-
taking this lightly. Don't take my humor as, I agree totally.
I don't think Ms. Steiner cares what it's made out of.
Yeah. Nothing.
No, she
Nothing.
does not care what it's made
I
out of.
understand.
To my knowledge, last minute, we were expecting about 20-something thousand, and it turned into 100,000
Plus.
Over
Like-
100, over 100.
over the last day or so. So that's why I got taken off the agenda, from my understanding. So it's not like we're not moving towards that, so.
But we do need to do something
We-
quickly because we're coming into rainy season
Oh, it won't, yeah, this,
But I don't know.
it's been an issue.
again.
Yeah.
10 years.
Yeah. We hear you, Ms. Steiner.
I've been the squeaky wheel for 10 years. 10 years.
Okay.
Working on it.
We're gonna work on it harder now because I don't want Miss Steiner, yeah, mad at me.
Well, and Allison's probably getting tired of my pictures of me standing in the rain. There's a whole collection if y'all.
Well, we do appreciate you,
Thank you.
and that doesn't hold as much weight as standing in the rain, but,
We don't want our kids to get sick.
yeah, and we don't want the kids either.
No,
But
no, it's not
I get
just
it.
about us. It's
I
about
get
the
it.
love bugs that come out there and, you know.
Well, it's about everybody, but we will work on it. I can promise you that. Anything else? Yes, sir.
I apologize, I meant to talk about this when I was talking about the calendar. One of the PPC's discussions earlier in the year was looking at a 190-day calendar as opposed to 191. I think we're the only school in the state that I can find.
Not the only school.
Close, but that runs a 191-day contract. So what was pointed out was with Learns bringing everyone to $50,000, technically if you're working the extra day, you're actually making less money per day than other places, and it would offer flexibility in the calendar. So I just wanted to float that out there, that might be something we toy around with next year as we try to build a hopefully more flexible calendar than this one. But just wanted to throw that out there.
Where do we get that day?
We worked very hard. PPC worked very hard to get that extra day for a work day. We had to take it to the board and they,
But we would still
Okay.
keep that workday. We can adjust because of the minutes. We can have that flexibility. So it would still be there.
So you'd have one less student day.
No, we'd probably have one less CT flex day, honestly. That seems like the easiest place to take it from, but I don't know. I don't want to speak for the committee when we've not really discussed it too much.
Or start a minute earlier?
I don't know enough on it to know the implications of going from 191 to 190. So I'll
well,
have to-
it was actually a day, because teachers, especially elementary teachers, they're up there 2 weeks ahead. So, but that work day was their work day. They didn't have a meeting, nothing. They could get in their classrooms, all of them could get in their classrooms and do that and not have to have a meeting, and got paid for that. So,
For the extra day, that's right.
mhm.
So all of our salary schedule is based on a 191-day contract. So that does affect your daily rate for those 205, 220, 240 calendars. So, our schedules. So it would have changing to 190 days. Our initial figures, when we were looking at that, were upwards of $35,000. And that's, it would cost money, and we're just watching right now every penny. The future, it may be something that I would recommend at this point, though, looking at it. Financially, we're watching every position. So any added cost, that's the cost of a paraprofessional.
And that's why PPC this year just,
So that's the cost of it.
yeah, so.
Mhm.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Since we've changed to minutes now instead of, how much difference is that? How much less is that with minutes?
Less.
Time.
Time.
Plus
It's,
teaching.
right now, we've gone from 178 classroom days to 175 classroom days. However, our teachers are still working the same amount of time. Our kids are not in the classroom the same number of days, but they're equivalent minutes.
But I know why we changed it, it's because of 4-day schools, basically, because they were having to go less.
It's one option, one thing I believe that was mentioned. I wasn't part of that discussion.
I think out of the 4 options, I think of 4 days, I think it's actually separate with an alternative calendar. I'd have to look
Oh,
at
from
that.
calendar, yes, but to make,
just your
student.
time.
It more attractive to students. Have
And I will
fewer
say,
student days.
by going by minutes is what's given us the snow day flexibility that a bunch of other districts have been desperately wanting this season. So ultimately, I think it was a good decision. And if it doesn't snow, we still come to school those days. So.
So like Norfolk has been going every Friday for the past 4 Fridays because of the 4-day work week.
We have, our PVC did a fantastic job with the minute calendar. If you look online at some of the comments and the changes that some other districts across the state have had to make, and they are having to ask for waivers from DESE, it's some pretty wild stuff, you know, adding a few minutes here and there, some grades having to stay at school longer than other grades in the same district because of building schedules. So it's been interesting to look at, and thankfully, we are not in that position because of the calendar that was developed. This year's calendar, by minutes.
Anything else? Okay.
Me.
Yeah, okay.
Sorry.
That's okay. Superintendent update.
Great week of school, a little bump in the road on Monday with our weather, but hopefully we are done with that for the year with the sun shining and moving towards spring. It was an absolute honor on Tuesday to go down to Little Rock and get to see our own Jeff Kincaid, honored for the work he has done in ALE. He was given a capital citation for his 29 years in education, 13, is that correct, of which were in ALE. And those of you that remember, he was asked to go start a campus at Mountain Home. So that's a big deal.
Deserves a hand.
He does, and he's not here.
Not here.
He's not here. Conferences tonight. So there also was a special recognition of Ruben Morales. He was honored with the Diamond Award, given to 11 students out of the state from ALE. Mr. Kincaid is a rock star in Little Rock with ALE. It was evident just from the little bit of time that I was there at the Capitol. Today is School Resource Day. So Lacey Holland is here, and we just want to thank all seven of our SROs that work hard to keep our students safe, our campuses safe, and certainly the Mountain Home Police Department in that collaboration we have with them. So very quickly, I'll share what will be coming out next week. The plan is Monday right now. I had talked to you all about our strategic planning for the Mountain Home Public Schools Strategic Plan 2.0. So the first step is gathering community, staff, faculty, and even student priorities. So I do ask that this will go out online, of course, I will send it to staff, but I ask that if you know community members, please ask them to fill this out. We will look at the top priorities. One of the things that you will not see is academic achievement. To me, that did not need to be on the list because that is understood and will be a priority for the district. That's what we're here for. So you can see some of the topics. Each one of those boxes, the goals that you all have set over the past couple of years, first with Dr. Long, and then we continued those. We worked on them during our work session. Those goals all fit in one of those categories. So we've got some work to do. This is step one. I hope to kind of bring you a beginner, here's the top priorities and here's the percentages and who chose what at an April work session. Once we get our new board member, we'll also look at what your facilities priorities are at that time as far as current facilities go. So that is where we are today, and that's all I have.
So this will go out to whoever sends it out.
It will go to the media as well, so
Okay,
there will
good.
be lots of access to it publicly. But yes, please encourage any community member or parent to complete it, and then we will encourage on the inside.
We'll work on the inside if y'all will help us on the outside to get this filled out, and we just want to know where folks stand as far as what's important.
Right.
And it's time to redo that. I'll have a drop-in. think it's originally right now scheduled tentatively for the 23rd, but that's when softball season kicks off. I'm not gonna pretend it's not, and so I will probably be leaving a little early, and I want to make sure that we have enough time for community that have input on the strategic plan. So, like I said, it's scheduled right now for the 23rd, but we may push that back so I can see as many folks as I can through that day.
Very good. Anyone else with any? Conferences must be ending.
They're ending.
Very good. All right. We will break for